I look like I'm in some bunker in the bottom of a hill. Oh, there's the lighting's get better. So
With a big shadow person behind you. I don't know what that is.
that is, I'm in the conference room at the office, and that's a big black and white Rorschach test or something behind me. I'm not sure what. Uh, but I was told I wasn't allowed to have the conference room, so they stuck me in the, I mean, not the conference room, the training room. So they stuck me in the conference room.
Gotcha.
So, but how's everyone doing?
Doing good.
Good.
Good. How are you?
I'm here. I feel like I've driven all over DeKalb County today. I had a listing appointment out in Rex, Georgia today on a commercial deal. So I've been from downtown out past the airport, back to the office, and then I'll be back in town. So at this point, but part of the fun and games, and we're trying to close a deal next week in which, you know how it's like quiet for a while and then all of a sudden the radio chatter starts kicking up, these last minute things to do, that has started kicking itself up. So while trying to keep the clients calm at the same time. So all part of the fun.
Sounds like real estate.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, exactly. I mean, these clients have already told me 3 times, like, I don't know how you do what you do. I'd be drinking all the time. So like, well, yeah, there are a few of them that do that. There's no question. You got to keep it going down the pike. So, but so how is the year going so far for you guys? Hopefully some other people, I know I changed the time is because of that listing appointment. How's the year treating you so far?
It started slow, but it seems to be picking up quite a bit right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Lots of activity popping up randomly.
I've got 4 closings this month, which is a record for me, but then I'm kind of dead in the water after that.
Okay, so let me ask you a question on that. Is the reason why you're sort of dead after that, is it because you focus so much energy on the 4 closings instead of on lead generation?
Yeah, well, yes, I would say that for sure. But I have leverage since. I've got, hella leverage helping me out.
Good.
And I've got
I saw Amanda last week.
Yeah. And I've got some help with some phone calls. So I've kind of dished that off and delegated that out a little bit. So
yeah, it's really hard. And I'll be honest with you, it's really hard to balance it. Like right before I came in here, I had shot out some emails trying to follow up on stuff, not trying to be a nag or anything of that sort of people, but you got to keep the steam train rolling. Otherwise you will be, sort of stuck. So I get that. So, one of the things that I wanted to talk about this week because of the importance of it, and Sandy, I'm assuming you're going to be part of this discussion, or I'm going to talk about you, is social media. So, and Jan, come off mute because you're going to be part of this discussion. Is how much are you using social media, and how consistent are you being in social media?
I'm not. I'm one of these stalkers. I'm the stalker that just loves to look at what everybody's doing. But I don't know. I've always been this way about social media. I don't post a lot unless I'm on vacation. And even at that, I just feel like, well, I know, does people really want to see what I'm doing? And then if
Yes,
somebody's struggling,
they do.
I don't. Well, if somebody's
they
struggling,
do want to see what you're doing.
if that makes sense. I don't want to hurt somebody if they're struggling and I'm out having a good time.
Jan, are you talking bad?
So Stephanie just walked in the room. So,
Stephanie, what are you doing?
Wait, you talk bad about somebody?
Not yet.
So here's the way that I would look at it. I mean, I understand. I mean, social media is not always the easiest thing to do. And I look at it as sort of opposite of what you do. I look at it as a marketing tool. I don't look at it as a social tool or be friends with buddy tool or something, of that nature. So, but here's the reality of it. If you're consistent in doing it, is that, Sandy, I mean, we're starting to work or trying to start to work with these people buying an office building.
Right. Right.
You were probably cognizant that we had closed that other office building. And
Yep.
so when the subject came up with the fellow, my name popped up or my group
Mhm.
popped up in your head.
Mhm.
That's a classic example. You know, I know people who uh will look at social media and they think, oh my God, they do nothing but post about real estate, or when they were drunk, you know, or something of that sort. You have to sort of move, or both, you know, doing real estate while they're drunk. Which actually is a lot more fun. You have to sort of think of it as a business tool, because I can tell you the listing appointment that I went out on this morning, it was actually a listing appointment from a residential agent who's with Dorsey Alston that I did a deal with 3 years ago.
Mhm.
And I know the only reason, she and I were friends on Facebook, we really don't talk, you know, we'll like each other's stuff every so often, but she straight out said to me, it's like, I know I don't do a commercial, but I've seen, you know, you doing stuff in commercial, and that's why I'm sending them to you. And the same way that we're closing on a deal up in Alpharetta on an agent in Madison, Wisconsin, that we're in a couple of groups together, that they saw I was doing business in Atlanta and they referred this business to me. That was a $650,000 sale.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So
I completely agree with you, David. I think it's imperative. I think it is the way of business right now.
yeah, it's just whether you like, you know, sometimes whether you like it or not, it's like you know, and it's, to some people it may be surprising. I'm not a huge fan of networking events. I have to force myself to go to a networking event because I'm what one would call a social introvert. I can sit here and talk to you guys. You know, some of y'all have seen me run team meetings. I run classes. That doesn't faze me in the least bit. Put me in a room of 100 people where I don't know anybody and I want to go behind the couch and drink tequila. You know, I just want to hide. It's just not my natural thing to do. With social media, what's good about it is that you can hide behind the couch and still push it out there,
Yeah.
you know, and do
Yeah.
that. Now, the trick though to doing it successfully is learning by looking at other people's posts and how they do stuff. And we've heard this, and I know I'm just repeating myself, but there is a lot of truth to it. If you go and look at my Instagram page, in the marketing that I do, there's consistency in what it looks like. There's always the same font. There's, you know, I sort of have like a color front to it now. That's what I started doing this year. The formats are about the same, and I do it for just listed, under contract, and just sold. Now, the trick that I do, because we're fortunate enough to have enough volume going on, is that I do just listed and under contracts on Monday and Wednesdays, and I do one just sold on Fridays. Because what I don't want to do, and this is totally manipulative on my part, and I will fully admit it, is what I don't want to do is if I'm lucky enough, like Scott, to have 4 closings and they all happen to happen in 1 week, I don't want to put 4 closings all together. I'd
Right.
rather have them spaced out once a week, so it looks like I'm consistently working and closing deals.
That's what we did.
And that's what I'm going to do, actually. I'm going to post them
Yeah.
a week apart.
Yeah. Now, just listed and under contract, as soon as that Monday or Wednesday hit, I do it, you know, to put it out there. But the reality is, if you go through my Instagram and to a certain extent my Facebook, is that you'll see the consistency of it going through there, and people will notice that. And it's helped build it up to a certain extent. Of course, I think I have 950 followers right now. Probably 230 of them are Jezebel 1246.32 at, you know, whatever, you know, those people, the not spam, but crap, you know, that's in there. I mean,
The stalkers.
I fully admit to that. But like I said, you know, with Sandy, she saw that. With Laura, she saw that. So it's showing me more and more the power of doing it. What I want to understand from you guys is what's stopping you from doing it. What's the fear? If there is a fear.
Social media.
I'm just,
Yeah.
Oh, I like social media. My problem's consistency.
Okay. Oh, right, but that can be
That can be fixed.
that can be fixed. That's something you have control over. You know, everything about social media you can control. If the fear is, if the consistency is the issue, post Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Just make that part of your deal. And go to sites like there's a great site called Keeping Current
Mhm.
that's got good information. There's the NAR site
Mhm.
that's got it. If you don't have a listing or a posting, you know, or a closing or something to do, pull something from that. Now, what you do is, this is the trick, is you take a screenshot of the Instagram page, crop just the part of the information,
Mhm.
and then make that your Instagram post
Mhm.
in doing that, you know, and maybe do it into your stories, something of that sort. But at least what you want to do is you want to show that you know the market. And especially, and I had somebody who's in software sales or social media software sales tell me, definitely, I'm not a LinkedIn person at all, you know, whatsoever. However, what somebody said to me at a luncheon talking about LinkedIn and how that's how experts talk to each other or business people talk to each other, not so much putting your postings in there that you're selling stuff, but information about the real estate market, because that's where they're going to look at to see who's an expert in there. And so I started doing it, and I actually got some messages off of it. Yeah.
What were you putting in there? Like just
Like
market stuff?
NAR
Okay.
and stuff like that.
Okay.
In doing that. So it's it's consistency. You just got to make it. I'm getting on Monday morning, I'm getting coffee. Let me go ahead and do it. You know, it doesn't take that long to do. Content, if you don't have a closing, find something on some of those sites, you know, that you can put on. Use shelters info, you know, but Matt Mead's really good at it. Yeah, have y'all seen Matt's stuff?
Mhm.
You know, that he's really good at that stuff. Um, you know, there's nothing wrong, you know, with taking that. I mean, Shelter loves that you're doing that. And just, does anyone have the fear of doing social media, of putting stuff out there?
I don't have a fear. I just don't like it. I'm old school, you know, and this is just I'm not a big social media person. I still like to pick up a phone and just talk.
No one's stopping you from doing that. So yeah, you go all day long if you want to go do that. But but the reality is, if you look at how we did, even in the time that I've been in real estate, social media was a baby embryo. I mean, Facebook had just come out. No one was really doing it. And whether we like it or not, you know, it is an added tool in the belt. And let me ask you this: if you took the lineup of people in Chat North and started thinking about names of people that you see out and about all the time versus people who call you, which one of the two would show up more in your head? The social media people or the people that call you?
Social
Oh,
media.
that's a good question. I don't know, probably social media. But see,
There's
I'm
my
one of
point.
these technology, I go kicking and screaming. You know, I've been in the business 26 years. We didn't have anything when I got in. And I'm still
Yeah,
kind of
but
stuck back there. That's just how I did my business, and I'm kind of stuck. And I just don't like it. So do I find somebody that will post
Hire
for me?
hire someone. Then if that's the case, you see, to me, doing those social media posts I do, that is like brain candy to me, because I've got it so systematized down that I literally can do it in 10 minutes. It's almost like, to me, it's so rote in my day schedule,
Right.
that if I forget it, I'll be like at 8:30 at night and going, oh crap, I forgot to do that. And I'm mad at myself for not doing it. So if you don't like it, then get someone to do it for you.
Jan needs a Kickstarter.
You know, but
Jan, I have somebody that can kickstart you.
Stephanie, did you just say you're on Kick Me? Is that what I heard?
No, I said
No.
you need a Kickstarter, and I have somebody that can help you, who's a
Okay.
friend of mine who is in marketing. And I had brunch with her 2 weeks ago, and she said, I don't know what's going on, but I've noticed your social media picking up. you're doing your posts again, you're doing out showing property, open houses. She said, I want you to understand that the reason my parents and I called you in 2020 to help us sell and buy was because of your social media, because of your videos, because you were showing us that you were out in that world. And she noticed, she doesn't even do my marketing anymore. And she noticed the past couple weeks how different my social media has been. So it does make a difference
You
in
know,
catching people.
one thing that I kind of struggle with is doing a post and feeling like it's worthwhile when you see that maybe 4 or 5 people saw it or commented on it or viewed it, and that
Mhm.
might be an open house, and maybe it just listed under contract, whatever. But when you see that and I know there's algorithms that put you in front of certain people, that to me is a struggle, because I see that and I'm like, well, why am I going to go through the hassle if only 4 people are going to see it, comment, or click on it?
But
Just
here's the
because it's in
reality.
comments. Oh, sorry, David.
So here's the reality though, is that I use a program called Ripple.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's animated. And I may get 8, 9 people who like the post or something like that. But it also shows me the number of views. And the number of views. So I have like 950 people on my Instagram account. And it's like, one has, like, and on Instagram, it'll say it usually runs anywhere from about 15 to 50 views. Okay. On Facebook, because you can, when you post on Instagram, you can flip it over to Facebook just as easily. There, it's anywhere from 75 to 150 views. So just because they don't like it doesn't mean they're not seeing it. And I can't tell you how, I don't even look at the analytics. I could care less about the analytics is what it is. But I know that I'm getting out probably to about 150 people. And those are the people who were stopping and looking at, not just, scrolling because they've seen it. I mean, if you look at my page, I mean, I really should yell at myself because that's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's consistent.
Well, it's not consistent. It's just a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, but when you look at it, your colors and your, like, these posts, you can see the consistency in them.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
And so what I do is, like, for listings, I've got one to put in right now.
Mhm.
For listings are red,
Yes.
just solds are blues, and then under contracts are slate gray. And then open house or price adjustments are done in green, and open houses are done in orange. So
Scott, do you have the business suite on your phone?
The business suite.
The Facebook metrics
Meta.
business suite.
Meta
Suite.
business suite.
I'm sorry. Run that. How would I find that?
It looks like you see this white business suite right there.
Yeah.
Okay. So that connects your Facebook and your Instagram. So I know what you're saying, because it is depressing when only 4 people see it. But what I worry about is this trend at the very bottom. Sorry, I'm trying to make his computer.
I'm not that smart.
I can't make the computer clear up there it goes.
There it went.
There it went. Why is it doing that? Anyway, so like it shows Facebook is up 38% since having that conversation with my friend and doing more personalized photos and videos.
Yeah, and it's important to understand something on social media, and I
Yeah.
mean to interrupt you.
Okay.
It's not just real estate.
Right.
People, I would tell you, if you go through all my Facebook and my Instagram, my world consists of Auburn football, real estate,
Mhm.
the dog, and every so often the kids, and maybe restaurants that I eat out at. So, out some every so often. That's what my world consists of. But people know that. In fact, when I first got my dog, I quit posting all the time, and someone made a comment, it's like, "Where's your dog?" Because they saw that. So they're just, they're just as interested in your personal life. And the thing is, it's interesting is that I don't know why everyone thought last week I was on vacation. I was at a conference, but it was at Fort Lauderdale, and
It did look vacationing.
yeah, it did look vacationing. And then I turned around and had to go to Indianapolis because I sold a car, and I stupidly told my friend I'd bring it up there. So all of a sudden it was like pictures in Fort Lauderdale, pictures, in Indianapolis and stuff like that. And when I came back in the office on Tuesday here, it was like, well, you've been traveling, you vacation. I was like, Indianapolis is not a vacation. And stuff. But yeah, really. But it shows that I'm out in the world, and doing stuff. Like I can tell you this weekend, I'm going to the Roswell Wine Festival and probably getting buzzed there, and then going to the game on Saturday night, the United game, and I'll have posts from there.
Yeah.
Because people want to do business with people who are out in the world doing things.
Well, it's people they know, like, and trust. And when you can connect with them on a personal level, like, oh my God, I love soccer too. And
No,
I live
people
one
people
thing
like
too,
doing
and-
people like doing things with people who are out in the world.
Yeah.
It's not even as it's not that what you're saying is complicated, but it's not even that complex. It's just people want to be active with other people, is what they want to be. And the reality is, and I think everyone in this group here talking is in the same age group, there's a tendency. I know you're the young one in here.
Love you too.
Okay, for those of us who are above 30, especially above 40, people have a tendency to either go one of two ways. They're active and they're out in the world and they're doing things and stuff of that nature, or they start hermiting in their lazy boy. And clients like the people who are out doing things, and it's just a reality. I see that. I just see that time and time again. I probably just PO'd about half this group in saying that, but hopefully not.
But I think if you don't like social media, like you just don't know what to post, maybe Fran and Sam each month in an email send out to all of his office, thanks to post.
They do. That's a great thing. I don't follow it, but I mean, I have enough going along to do it. But the way I look at it is if you're out at a wine festival, take a picture of it. That you're out doing stuff. Talk about, hey, this is going on this weekend. At the top of the month, I don't know if any of you have seen it, but about 6 months ago, I started doing a video talking about the market. I'm the only person in this market center that I'm friends with that I've ever seen do it. And I'm not even friends with myself. I really don't like myself that much. No, talking about what's going on in the Atlanta market, here, let me.
She does on Monday. She doesn't do a video, but she does a Monday post.
No, you got to do a video.
Hey, so
Because Jonathan does post too. And
Here's one that I did in February.
yeah, I see the video.
Didn't you do the one last week at the beach?
Mhm.
Yeah.
No one else in this market center does that I know does market center. Now, Jonathan does to a certain extent. He does Duluth. I do a more broad scope. The reality is, though, you guys know that I don't want to look at myself. That I live in a high rise. Well, we have a Facebook page in the high rise for the high rise, and I do a video in there. We're closing next week already, our 7th closing for this year in that building.
Wow.
To do that, and people will come up to me in the elevator and they'll say, thanks for doing this video, this or that. They know me more as the guy with a little white dog than they do anything else. But, do something different that other people aren't doing,
So now that you're saying that, let's brainstorm for a second because I just had an idea.
Sure.
So there's a listing in my neighborhood. It's a personal friend of theirs. That's why I didn't get it.
The realtor who got
The realtor who got the listing is
Yeah.
their friend. So it's the first sale in 8 months in our neighborhood. And we have a Facebook page.
Mhm.
I know it went for over asking. And I was shocked that she listed it for what she listed it for, because it's about 40,000 higher than the last sale in the neighborhood.
Mhm.
So, and she got over asking for it,
Mhm.
not cash, financed over asking. How do I market to my neighborhood on Facebook with a video? It's not my listing, so I don't have all.
Well,
the
you don't do that's you're done on that.
Yeah.
So that's gone. But what you do in the future, though, is exactly what I'm doing here. So I do a video. I do a video every month on my general Facebook page that talks about the overall Atlanta market. And I talk about maybe some major economic issues or mortgage rates and stuff on there. And then I do a video, reels on my Instagram page.
Okay.
Same thing.
Yeah.
But I'm limited in time, 90 seconds. And then I do a Facebook Live. All the Facebook stuff is live.
Okay.
And I do a Facebook Live that is just to residents of Spire. So you can do one that's just to residents of your neighborhood.
Okay.
But don't, maybe talk about a community event going on in the neighborhood. I don't know how big the neighborhood is. But talk about
The area.
more the area, or what's high school district are you?
We're linear.
Lanier.
Yeah.
Talk about what's going on in the Lanier area.
Okay.
Things of that nature. But the biggest point of it though, is be consistent about doing it. And go through, even though you may not like to, as many people that's in your neighborhood that you can figure out their Facebook,
Mhm.
friend everyone on your Facebook page. What I do in my Spire building is once every 2 months, something like that, I'll go through and see who's new in the building, and I'll send them friend requests. And people, they are not discerning, and so they'll friend me, is what they'll do.
Right.
So they actually get hit from me twice. They get hit from me from the Facebook page for the building and my regular Facebook page in 2 different ways. Now, my message in my Spire one is more what the stats are in the building, because we do have usually 3 to 4 sales a month listings in there. But like this past month, we actually had a closing. We had 2 that went under contract and 1 that we closed. We definitely made commentary about saying we have 4, there's 5 in the under contract of the building. We're lucky enough to have 2 of those under contract. There were 3 closings this month. We were fortunate to have 1 of those closings. I want them to see that business, occurring, through there. But it's definitely consistency. It's doing it every single month.
Okay, so what's the verdict on personal versus business page? Because I've heard mixed.
I have absolutely no use for a business page. I haven't gotten anything off of there. People don't go looking at people, and I don't care. You can line up 54 social media people in here. I don't give a crap what they say. Everyone goes to your personal page.
I have to share stuff that's business related to my business.
Yeah.
I don't make separate posts on there.
Yeah, the reality is, as you guys have been saying, and rightfully so, people want to do business with people that they like, know, and trust. That's done on your personal page. The biggest mistake that I keep saying that people do, the 2 biggest mistakes that people do is, number 1, they never do post any business stuff on there, or they swing the pendulum so far the other direction, they don't ever post anything personal. You can go through my page and you'll see where, was it 3 weeks ago, something like that? I was lost it thinking about it. 3 weeks ago, I was in New York. And I was at the New York Auto Show, and I was went to go see a couple of plays. I want people to see that I'm out and doing it, that I'm not totally uncultured swine, that I know what Sweeney Todd is, and then on the other side of it, I'm doing something that probably more guys would be interested in, that I went to an auto show, and things of that sort. Yeah, and balance out. In the fall, you'll almost every Saturday that there's a game, you'll see a picture of me from my seats, in the football game, and you need to make sure that those, and everyone has a concept of what the balance number is. What I say is, there probably for every 2 to 3 business posts, there needs to be at least 1 personal post, at a minimum. To balance out, and it's going to, shift around to it. But those videos, those live videos, let me put it to you this way, not this month, but the month before, Mike actually called me and said, that video was awesome. I flubbed something in the middle of it, but it was me. It wasn't perfect. It's not stylized. I'm not sitting here with a big ring light. It literally, most of the time, is me sitting at either in my office, or it's me sitting at the bar in my house doing the video. Now, I make sure if it's in my house that I've got the view of Midtown behind me in doing it. That's a little bit programmed, to do it, but why not if I got to pay for it? And but it's it's just important. The more and more I look at it, and it's free. It doesn't cost you squat, except for your time. And if you learn how to just make it part of your systemized way of doing things, it gets faster and faster and faster. And by no stretch of the imagination, Jan, I think this may be where you're hanging, is that you think it has to be perfect. Why go through the hassle of it? I don't like to do it to begin with. It's not going to be perfect. Screw it.
Well, I don't
And-
like me in it. And sometimes I'm out and I forget. I'm having a good time. I forget to put. If you look at my Facebook page, I think the last time I posted, besides the updated headshot, which I did, was when I was at the championship for Georgia back in January. I just don't post. I mean, I forget. I'm in the moment.
Okay, so let's think about this in this dynamic. So that was in January, right?
Yeah,
So think about how many friends do you have on Facebook?
almost 800.
Think about how many times those 800 friends have looked at their feed on Facebook and they didn't have the opportunity to see a market update from you, or that you sold something, or that you listed something, or that you're out doing business. How many times do you think that probably has occurred? And I got a number in my head. I want you to tell me your number.
I was probably, well, when they're on there all day long, there's probably a zillion chances they didn't see anything I've posted. I mean, I don't
Right.
know.
There's probably over 8,000 opportunities since January for people to see that you're in the real estate business and you haven't taken advantage of it.
Yeah.
And it cost you $0.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And if you don't like doing it whatsoever, do what Stephanie's talking about. Hire somebody.
Yeah.
Do not pay $600 to some of these people that do stuff.
No.
That's not the way to do it. But just hire someone, because, and please understand, I'm not saying it's the savior of all things in real estate by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a component that, whether or not we like it, in today's society, is part of it.
Right.
The same way to your defense, picking up the damn phone is part of it also.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Very
I'm testing
true.
everyone, quit talking. So,
That doesn't look good. No, but I mean, for a marketing person to come to me and say, oh my gosh, it looks like you're busy again. And I was just out showing property for another agent. But I took the time to remember, that's part of my problem. I can't remember to do that. I'm so worried about getting there and the traffic and I need a sticky note.
See, I'm
in
the
my
other
car that
way.
says-
I'm where everyone says, put your damn phone down. We're at dinner, stop it,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So. No. Put your damn phone down. No, I mean, I have people's like, okay, we're at dinner, don't be looking at your phone, don't be doing this, whatsoever. But like sometimes with restaurants, when I post them, it's so, people learn more about the city.
Right.
Doing it. I'm not allowed to take pictures of certain people, so I have to work around that.
Just put a sticker on her face.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't work either. Which I mean, to your point, Jan, I have to respect other people's wishes, as far as that goes. On that. So I don't know.
And I do have on my Facebook that if somebody tags me, like for instance, Sunday, I took Richie to brunch at Pesh, which this is my second time at Pesh and I love it, which is right there by the office. Everybody needs to go try it. And Ryan came with us. Okay, Richie's big social media person. He posted it, but see, he tagged me, but I've got it set up where I approve it to go on my Facebook page. So that way, if
Yeah,
I
we
don't
all
like my
do. That's not
picture-
the point. I mean, it's perfect. That's great, but good try on
know,
trying to get out of doing social media. That's not going to work.
I know, and I should have put it out there because then people would have seen I was out there or whatever. And then I have a friend that when we do girl trips or whatever, it's like, okay, Barbara, put it on social media. So then I don't think about it. She just puts it out there. But then sometimes I have to approve if I want that picture to show, especially if I'm in it.
Mine
It's
are,
one
that you can't post anything about me without me approving it if I'm tagged in the picture.
Yes. And so I'm one of those, if I don't like it, then I don't put it. Then that makes me look like, well, you went months without posting anything. And truthfully, I am on the go all the time. I'm a very social person. I'm like you though. You put me in a room with 100 people, I'll clam up like nobody's business until somebody warms up to me and I can start talking, then I'll talk your head off. But yeah, I'm out there, but people don't know I'm out there. That's the thing. I'm like that, I'm a secret
Secret agent?
agent. Yes.
I
That's
was
my
about to
theme
say,
song, Secret
why
Agent.
is
Don't
it,
tell my age.
why is it that you're out there and nobody knows you're not out there? Nobody knows you're out there.
Unless you're out there and you see me in person, you're not going to know I'm out there. I don't know. It's just, again, social media. I don't even have an Instagram account. If I do, I don't know what it is. I'm just not into social media and I don't know why. Some people just thrive on it and I don't.
Yeah, some
Maybe it's
people
my age
are
because I'm
addicted
probably
to
the
it.
oldest
Yeah,
one.
I would say addicted, not thriving.
I
No, I'm
mean,
just going to say I'm the oldest one.
Jan,
that's
we just
group,
need
so-
to be accountable to each other to get it
I
done.
know. We said that last week. We said we were going to do that.
I know, and then I canceled.
so how's that accountability going?
I
For me,
had to
it's
reschedule. It was my fault.
Did you reschedule saying a specific time to get together?
Nope, but I just texted you. I was rectifying that right now.
I just texted her too. I told her I have a 15-year-old neighbor in my.
So let me ask you guys this question. If you wanted to make, and I'm not going to ask everyone what do you want to make in GCI, but let's say if you wanted to make $250,000 in GCI, okay, wouldn't you want to be using all the free tools available
Yes.
to you to be able to do it?
Yes.
Then why not do it? Why are we not doing it? And I don't want to hear the answers of, I just don't have time. I don't think about it. I don't like social media. But if you stick the sign $250,000 in front of your face, isn't that a motivator? Well, obviously not.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
So I met with Mike a couple weeks ago and he said part of my problem is that I have my goals written out and it's at home in my office above my desk, but I'm not sitting in front of my desk every day. So if my goal isn't with me, how do I know what my target is every day?
Do you
He said
did you ask
visually.
Mike what part of his problem is?
I didn't have time for that.
Yeah, that's a whole long conversation. Sorry, I did not say that. It is not recorded.
So he told me my notebook needs to be in my car with me.
That's a
the
fair
goal
point. I
at the
agree with him on
front
that.
all the time.
I agree with
So
him
it's
on that.
always-
I agree with him on that.
So if I want social media to be a priority, then I need to.
But it's not even that. It's like, and I'm not the person who digs into the big why necessarily. When we have ALC and they ask me, what's your big why? And everyone says, I want to do this, I want to do that. I say, I want to eat. I mean, that's like, I come from much more of a survivalist thing. But I will say is what drives me is, and anyone in this group who knows me halfway well is going to bust out laughing, is I'm competitive. I want to be, I know. I want to be that, but I love the fact that I'm able to go to New York and do that stuff. Last night, actually, for my son's birthday, we're going to go on a cruise for a few days. He's been on a cruise. My daughter hasn't been on a cruise before. And do stuff. That's what drives me. Think of the things that you're not doing now, but when you see other people doing it, I'm not saying keep up with the Joneses. Okay. I am the world's anti-advocate of keeping up with the Joneses. Okay. That's how you get in trouble. But think about the things, not that you can do necessarily just for other people, but what you can do for yourself and what you can do. And you can do it and it costs you nothing to do it. That's once again what that social media part of it is. Now, the cool thing about real estate is the fact that you can make it into whatever business you want to. Me, I'm a capitalist pig. Okay, I'll name it for what it is. I want to do these things. It, to me, closing that $6 million deal a couple of months ago was the coolest thing on the planet to me, to be able to do it. That was a culmination of 17 years worth of work to do it. But if you want to sell only, if your goal is to put money aside for a kid's college fund, fantastic. If you want it to be, to put money aside to buy your partner or spouse a new car, awesome. The goal, and do it for that. Me, I'm just a little bit bigger, I guess, maybe thinking, not that I'm right or wrong or better than anyone else. Mine's just a little bit different. But the bigger thing that I've discovered is, like in anything in life, and this is going back to social media, and Jan's going to hit me through the computer screen, is the consistency of doing it and getting up in the morning and getting to work and getting those things done. They will pay. There is no way you become, I'm not going to say Michael Jordan, even though I just said Michael Jordan, but you're not going to become an Olympic athlete.
That's the
Shaq.
big thing.
Yeah. Or you're not going to become an Olympic athlete without that consistency of practicing it and doing it every day. I think everyone can agree on doing that. So what's occurring? I tell you what's a detriment to some people is it's going to sound interesting, is not this office or the people in this office, is the physical nature of this office being very social.
Yes.
You
That's
know,
why I don't come in the office.
yeah.
People stop and talk.
Yeah. The other day I was in the office, and Matt, I've been in the office for about 3 hours, and I've been working, and Matt came in my office because I can literally hear, we can hear each other the whole time. And he says, I was telling Hunter, you're one of the few people that when you come in the office, you sit down and you go to work. He said, probably only 40% of the people do that. And that's the thing, is it's so easy to get sidetracked in doing other things. Now, I want to make it really clear. I do my fair amount of social in here, especially if, like, Michelle's in here, we'll start yabbering at each other and not getting, not get done. I mean, there's something with, Michelle, I'm going like, go, I need to get stuff done. But, it's not as hard as what we think it is. It just isn't, I mean, what's the biggest thing stopping and I'm talking to the left side of me right now. What's the biggest thing that you feel slowing you down, or are you hitting the goals that you want to be at? Okay, so what's the biggest thing slowing you down?
Consistency, letting other things fill my time instead of making it about my business.
So what are the other things that are filling your time and not making it about your business?
Kids, husband, dog, laundry, housekeeping,
Okay, so
Neymar.
yeah, don't bring that one up.
Don't say anything.
Okay, so with kids, household, things of that nature, is your day where when the kids are off to school,
Mhm.
which if they're in Gwinnett, they're probably out the door sometime
He
between
gets dropped
7,
off at 7:50.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Does the day go into the work day?
No,
There's your challenge.
that's my problem.
That's when your work day starts.
Yep.
Now, if you have a list from the night before and you finish everything that you need to the night before, and you're done at 2, fine. If you want to work more, that's fine also. But the thing is that you need to, and one of the things, and I will fully admit I'm terrible at this because I try to keep everything in my mind. When I have to-do lists, I'm so much more productive
Yes,
from the night before.
I have been more productive this week with my to-do list
Right.
than.
And the thing is that when you do that, you mentally become more productive in your head, and your head space clears. Especially, it's been proven scientifically that in your cell structure, if you do a to-do list the night before, you sleep better and you're better organized for the next day. Do that. So Rachel, what do you think is keeping you from hitting your goals?
Sticking to my schedule.
Okay.
You have the same problem I do.
Yeah,
Kid goes to school, but you don't start
yeah,
your day.
like
you're-
consistently at the same day. I mean, at the same time every day.
How would you think a lawyer's or a doctor's practice would be if they did the same thing?
They wouldn't be in business.
So.
I've already fired myself like 10 times this year. I mean,
So that's my point, is that if you want to have the success of a doctor or a lawyer, you have to do the same things that they're doing, in order to be able to achieve that, right? Now, the reality may be is that you don't, that either the goals aren't there or they're strong enough in your face to create that to go. Like, I mean, both of you guys are married, right? Okay. Now, please understand, I'm not picking on married versus single people here, because I'm single, but I have a partner. So, but we,
Yeah.
we don't live together or anything of that nature. Is that there's somewhat of a safety net there to do it. When I got into when I got into real estate, I mean, I had a chip on my shoulder. I had a point to prove, and no one else was going to save me but me to do it. And I still, to be honest with you, to this day, I still think I'm the junkyard dog fighting for everything. I know, and I've had people in this market center say, God, it's just, you get it. And it's like, no, I'm
working.
I'm getting that there. But the thing is to have that goal of, do you want that 250,000? Is that your goal, $250,000? To use an overused phrase from KW, what would your world look like with making $250,000? Do that.
A lot easier.
Peanut gallery, make some commentary. That's the people on the screen I'm talking to.
No, I knew Peanut. I am the Peanut Gallery. Well, I can say that I'm kind of the same way. Now I'm married. My husband. It's just me and my husband and the cat. But before he became the kind of the manager of his company, he was a salesman, and he was the number one salesman every year. He worked from home. He'd get in his car and go see clients, however they did it. I don't know. I get distracted because I feel like I'm the one that has to do everything. He can check out. I can't check out. If I know I'm home, I want to make use of the time that if I'm sitting at my desk, I'll take a break to go get something to eat or get a glass of water or something. Okay, I'm going to start a load of clothes. Oh, look out there. Maybe I need to water my patio, the plants. And then before you know it, an hour has gone by, and I don't know how to just shut that down. And
the way that you shut that down is that if it is in between the hours of 9 to 5, you just don't do those things. And that's a certain amount of it self-will, but you don't, like if I'm working at the house, I don't do laundry during the day. Now there's a big ass bag of laundry that needs to be done right now, and I'm the only one who's going to do it. But you just don't touch anything house related, unless you have an air conditioning person to come fix something. Obviously that makes sense.
yes.
But you don't do dishes, you don't do laundry, you don't do after 8 o'clock you don't make the bed anymore, even though you should make your bed every day. It's at least one thing accomplished if you make your bed.
Yes, tell my husband that if it wasn't for me, the bed wouldn't get made.
Productivity for the day.
Yeah. I mean, I made my bed this morning. I had a 7:30 oral surgeon appointment this morning, had to go back to the house. I hadn't made my bed yet before I went to a listing appointment, and I made the bed before I went back out the door, doing that. But the biggest thing is that okay, let me back up for a second. If you were working at Allstate and you were a 9 to 5 employee, okay, I'm not going to say a real job, but a 9 to 5 employee,
Mhm.
and you're working in the office, would you be doing the laundry?
No, you'd be, yeah. If it's one of those, you'd be in the office and you'd have to make a list. Okay, I'm gonna try to get this in tonight when I get home, and if I don't, I'll do something different. And that's
Yeah,
the whole
what's
thing. I'm
different?
in a routine. We get up at 6 o'clock. Joe gets up at 6. He has to be at work at 8. I do the first thing I do when we hit the floor is make the bed. And I'm in a routine. So by 8 o'clock, but then I find myself, I'm falling off the wagon. I'm just owning it. That's just me.
That's
I'm falling off the wagon.
That's the first step, is owning it. To do it. But the second step is to put together a plan to take care of it. And the way to do that is by literally saying to yourself, I will not touch any housework until I've done my to-do list for the day.
So that's funny. I'm reading Atomic Habits right now, and that's one of the things it just said was to create the habit and then reward yourself. Like if you want to add,
Yeah, doing laundry is not a reward.
well,
So-
I'm just saying you're not allowed to watch TV or check social media or do your laundry until you've done A, B, and C for your business. And then once you've, hit your 10 calls, you've talked to 10 people, then you can go turn the load of laundry on, but then you have to come back and call 10 more people before you're allowed to switch it again.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean,
It makes absolute sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you from a financial aspect for me, and y'all may think I'm weird or everything, but if there's something outside of regular living, but there's something big I want to do, let's say that cost $10,000 or something of that sort, I have to put at least away, I have to earn in excess of my living expenses. I have to earn $20,000 to $30,000 to put away to be able to spend that 10,000 to do that. There has to be that risk reward. I'm somebody who survived through 08, like Jan did.
Yep.
And it definitely had that effect on me to where it has to balance itself out. I can tell you, I save about 40% of my annual income every year, to do that. I mean, it'd be so easy to blow it and do it, but I'm always to a certain extent afraid that we're going to hit 08 again. And the reality is that my coach has told me, it's like, you're not the same realtor you were back when 08. I was 2 years into it in 08. I mean, when we went into 23, when the pandemic hit, we thought everything's going to hit the fan. Then, we miraculously made it through that. And then we hit 22 and everything slowed down, which mine just slowed down too. I had a lot of stuff that got delayed into this year. And, but it isn't, but you've got, so it still has that, effect on me where I'm cautious, on stuff.
makes sense.
Okay. Anyone else? Have y'all felt like I've been berating y'all for the past hour? Or have I just put you to sleep? I could have done that too.
No, all awake.
So, well, good to hear. Good to hear. What questions can I, in the last few minutes, what questions can I answer about social media that would maybe make you feel better about doing it? Is it scary?
Mine's literally just consistency.
Okay.
I need to get comfortable with doing videos because I know that's what people look at now.
People do look at videos, but I don't think people look at
I don't think
videos
they
as much as what
dissect
people
it.
say. No, I don't think people look at videos as much as what these people say they look at videos. I think it's a mixture of the two.
Well, I feel like it's easier to scroll past a still post than it is a video. You know what I mean? 'Cause you see the movement and
It could be.
yeah, no matter what.
So how many seconds do you have to capture an audience in that video? If you don't want them to keep scrolling? Do you have analytics on your?
No, I don't look at that crap. I just do it.
Okay.
So, I mean, the first step is doing it. If you don't do it, you have nothing to analyze. And if one gets off on analyzing, more power to you. I don't have the time or the desire necessarily to do it. I don't care, quite honestly. I'm more concerned at hearing eventually from somebody is like, oh yeah, I saw your post, or, I like your logo, or, things of that nature. That way, that's how I look at, are people actually looking at stuff, that's out there. And guys, it's meant thousands of dollars to me in business. And I just can't argue with doing it. Or I can't argue with or create a good argument not to do social media to do it. But I think people are afraid, oh, I'm not going to look perfect like Jennifer Lopez or something of that sort, which is totally manufactured. I mean, one of the highest videos I ever got showings on was, this is about 4 or 5 years ago. And I was doing a live video of a listing. It was in winter and I had a big overcoat on. And my son, I had holding the iPad and I was going to walk through and do a live walkthrough of this condo. What is the video of? Is of me talking and the video looking at my butt the whole time. You know, you hear me walking through, talking, everything. Every so often you can see my head, you know, but he videoed my butt in an overcoat. So you can imagine how much bigger my butt was in the overcoat. 542 views, you know, on that thing. So, you know, people don't care about perfection. You know, it just really isn't, you know, by any stretch of the imagination. You know, it's about what you said is about knowledge. I mean, the listing appointment I had this morning, the lady had it listed before with somebody, and she literally, I felt like I was going through real estate school again with some of the questions that she was asking me. And this was a commercial deal, but she did say to me at the end, she says, "You've answered more questions intelligently than anyone else has ever been willing to answer for me on how to do the process." Now, mind you, I feel like I just took my state exam again by the end of it, but I was able to answer. Now, there were a couple where I didn't know the answer, but they were very obtuse questions, you know, that were out there that no one would know. But, you know, you want to be able to, you know, to answer those things, you know, in the proper order. You know, there's no question about it. So, okay, we're at the end. I know I put everyone to sleep. This has been your hour where you're supposed to be doing your laundry, so you can't do it anymore until 5 o'clock. So,
No, I don't have any to do. I just kind of said that, but anyway, no, I did
or
do
watering
something
your
while we were
plants, or
talking.
watching Young and the Restless. Okay.
No, I've got that taped. I have to do that at dinner time. When I'm eating
There you
dinner.
go. See, right there, there's the first step of putting things outside of the 9 to 5 schedule, you know, in doing that. So,
Well, I
but
did
I'm like,
play,
right,
but I was on
yeah.
Facebook and I didn't realize we're not friends, so I just added you as a friend.
Oh, I saw that,
Or
and I didn't know
sent
if it
you.
was a fake request. So,
No, it's
I've been
me. I
hacked.
did it.
I've been hacked twice in the past month.
Yeah, I know.
I know that.
I was tagged in, I was like.
I know, and it literally, I had gone to sleep. I'd taken a nap that afternoon, and I got up and it was like 45 messages tagging me. Like, "David, look at your Facebook. Look at your Facebook. Look at your Facebook." I'm like, "What is the matter?"
That's not see anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, really, you had the wrong marketing thing, and I had to get somebody who literally went through. Yeah, I literally had to send it to somebody had to go through there and undo. Yeah, and undo everything. So I apologize for that, but
It's like. It's all like.
2 people did supposedly. Mhm.
The screenshot they showed.
Yeah, it was like, really, you're barking up the wrong tree.
Kevin.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyhow, I appreciate you guys coming today. Hopefully, you know, other than me sounding like I was berating everyone on social media, hopefully it was some help. So I'm teaching a class on the 19th, I think, is what it is. And it's going to be interesting. It's actually some of what I learned in the class that I was in last week. But the bigger thing that the bigger concept that we're going to have is going to be talking about mission statement. And I know that's not the most exciting thing, but I've got a mission statement for you that, you know how like in Georgia Legacy Group, it's a very elegant, eloquent mission statement, you know, to be a place of stunning excellence and all that kind of stuff. My mission statement that I learned in this one other thing that I went to, wasn't the class I went to, but a business leaders lunch, is only 2 words. And I'm not going to tell you them now, but it's very simplistic, yet it totally covers anyone's mission in business to do
Way
that.
to keep us in suspense.
There you go. That was the whole point. So,
On the 19th.
it's a lunch deal. So it's gonna be around noon, something like that, I think is when it is. So, you know, usually Jessica tells me the day before.
Field day.
Yeah. And my whole family keeps asking me, like, I'm the social person to determine what the 4th of July plan is. I've had 3 of them ask me.
Process July. Can we?
I'm not even a Memorial Day yet, much less anything else. So, but
May.
all right. Well, thank you guys for coming today. Hopefully it was some help with it, and we'll be doing it again next month.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Appreciate it. Have a good day.